Guys, this is the third installment for my programming tutorial series, and in this one I wanted to cover HTML. So HTML is a weird one because when you start programming, most programmers will say, don't worry about HTML, it's super easy. But the fact of the matter is it's very overwhelming when you just start. If we go check the HTML reference, here is a list of the available HTML tags, and there are a lot of them. There are a lot. More than that, there are a bunch of attributes. I don't know if you remember from the first video, an attribute is like the class keyword, where we said class is equal to a CSS class which styles the tag, or the onClick event handler, which we have attached our JavaScript to. That's also an attribute. So, I mean, check the attribute reference. There's a ton of stuff here. But the truth is that 90% of the time, you're going to be using a very small subset of the available HTML and of the available attributes. And the trick is just getting used to them and knowing them. So in this short tutorial, I just want to go over some of the main ones that you'll use for text. So if you go to codepen.io and click Start Coding, you'll be presented with this screen, and you can minimize the JavaScript and minimize the CSS, and this gives us a way to render HTML in our browser. Just keep in mind, not all browsers render HTML the exact same way, so it's always handy to write your own CSS. Also, plain HTML is just black on white and it looks really boring. So let's start off with the H1 tag, which you started. And this would generally be the heading of the page, and it's really good this is important for SEO purposes, and it gives the user an idea of what the page is about. So the smaller heading would be an H2, and this will be a little bit smaller. Oops, I forgot to close that off. Remember, you close your HTML tags with a / and then the same name as their tag. But not all HTML tags need to be closed off. If we wanted to, for instance, make a line, we'll say HR, and because it has no content, we just close it off like that. But HTML is also really forgiving, so we don't actually need that closing / at least for elements which don't have a closing tag. So we could also do this. We could also create a paragraph tag. And here we would write text like, say we were promoting, this was a website for a company, you would have information about the product. This product is super amazing. Just ask our users. So we could also add tags within tags. So if we wanted to bold the word super, we could use the strong tag. And it will bold the word super. If we wanted to put users in italics, we could go I and I, and that creates italics. If we wanted to add another paragraph, we just add one underneath. Did we mention how amazing our product is? So also generally when working with HTML, the most common element you'll use is a div tag. And a div tag, it's basically a way to split sections of your HTML and allows you to style groupings of HTML. So we could put this all in a div. And when I first started learning HTML, I was like, what is the point of a div? But it is probably the most common tag, and you'll use it to divide your web page up so that you have clear and concise sections. Divs are a way to semantically divide your HTML, as well as to style your HTML in a way that makes sense when you get to CSS, but we'll get there. Cool, so I also want to show a couple of more interesting tags here. If you want to create a link, what you do is you'll create an A tag, and you close it off with the A, and inside of here you'll put the text, the linking text. This is a link, and you'll see that one, it has no styling applied. That's because the browser won't apply styling until we make it point to another address. So the way we make a link to something is by using the href attribute. And here we put where we want it to link to. So if we want it to link to Google, google.com. So now this is a link, will point to Google. I don't think CodePen will allow us to open it. Bummer. But what we can do is make this open in a new window. And we do that by using the target attribute. So we target and underscore blank. I'm not too sure why this is underscore blank, but it is. And now when we click this, it'll open in a new tab. The last thing I want to add is the image attribute. And this allows us to put images in our HTML. So we use image. It doesn't have a closing tag, so we just close it off like that with a / and then the angle bracket. And to link an image, what we need to do is put the image in our source attribute. So that takes a URL. So the source, and if the source is broken, I'm sure you'll recognize the broken image symbol. It means that the browser can't find the image that we're pointing to.
Where is it?
Let's go find an image. We'll go to unsplash.com and let's just right click here and copy the image address. Replace this text, and what we'll see now is that image in our browser. Cool. Oh no, so we see that this is a link and image are aligned next to each other. That's because these elements don't break the flow of the page. We can actually insert a break ourselves by using the BR tag. And what that would do is put the image below the link. The last thing I want to show in this super intro to HTML is that we can actually, instead of putting text in our link, we can actually put this HTML element. Because as we saw with this paragraph, is that we can add HTML elements within HTML elements. So now what's happened is that this image has become our link, and it goes to google.com. So that's a start for now. In my next video, I want to make a basic form, and yeah, see you there. Thanks for watching. Cheers.